From the Brewhouse Stage at Mountain Lakes Brewing Company in downtown Spokane, Washington, this is Wheat, Don't Tell Me, the MLB Beer Quiz Show. Once, when I was skiing up at Mount Spokane, I looked uphill and saw 1,000 Daves tumbling towards me, out of control. Turns out, it was a Dave-alanche. I'm Dave Basaraba, and here's your host, Chris Cindric!
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, everybody. It's November, and the Spokane craft beer selection has been off the charts. Everywhere I go, breweries are serving up a rainbow of options that is almost as impressive as Mount Spokane's acres of skiable terrain. So tonight, no matter if you're a green, blue, black, or double black diamond beer drinker, Mountain Lakes has you covered. So bundle up, choose the right beer for your ability, and fix your din setting for our Mountains of Beer themed show. We have a mogul of a show for you tonight. Mount Spokane Ski and Snowboard Park General Manager Brad McQuarrie will be here later in the show to play a game we call Not My Beer. If you'd like to be a contestant on the show, it's very easy. Just stop by Mountain Lakes Brewing on the first Wednesday of the month prior to the show, and we will bump your chairlift just right so you don't spill your beer on the ride to the top. It's time to welcome our first contestant of the night. Hello, you're on Wheat, Don't Tell Me. Tell us your name and a little bit about yourself.
My name is Colin, and I was raised in the 906. I'm part owner of 710, and I was born at mile 0.
All right, so 906 is what? What's that?
The Upper Peninsula of Michigan, Yoopers.
Oh, God. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, one of those. So it was a 906, and what was the second number?
710.
And what's the 710?
I am part owner of a cannabis company here in Spokane.
Okay, cannabis, and it's called the 710?
710 Oil is the brand.
710 Oil is the brand. So it's cannabis in CBD or?
Cannabis in vape pens and cartridges.
And cartridges. Okay, great. And that's awesome. Very nice. Very good. And the final number related to?
I was born at mile 0 of the Alaskan Highway in British Columbia.
Okay, and that was like an accidental roadside birth kind of thing?
Apparently.
Okay. All right, well, that happens. Well, welcome to the show, Colin. Let me introduce you to our panel of brewers from the Inland Northwest Craft Brewers Association. From Badass Backyard Brewing, a woman who can do it all. Snowboard? Check. Mountain bike? Check. Brew delicious beer? Check. Make custom handmade tap handles? Check. Kiss ass and take names? That's actually kick ass. I stand corrected. Maybe both, but kick ass and take names. Double check. Please welcome owner and brewer Charlene Honcik. From Whipsaw Brewing, where they believe that the only thing that tastes as good as drinking their own cut is sharing the rest. Please welcome all the way from Ellensburg, Washington, head brewer Wes Cutlip. And from Mountain Lakes Brewing Company, a man whose humor is as dry as his malt and as fresh as his hops. Please welcome owner and brewer Tim Hilton. And also from Mountain Lakes, a man who just announced his candidacy for the President of the United States as a third-party candidate with the Craft Beer Party. Please welcome owner and brewer and your announcer, Dave Basaraba. All right, we record our show on the first Wednesday of every month, and tonight's show is episode 6 of our Wheat, Don't Tell Me podcast. You can find it at mountainlakesbrewco.com podcast or any of our favorite podcast formats, including iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Google Play. Well, again, welcome to the show, Colin. As Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world. Me, I'm a nickel. With that, you're going to be playing a game we call Whose Beer This Time? Dave is going to read you 3 quotations from recent beer news. If you can correctly identify just 2 of them, you will win our prize, free beer, a pint glass, and a free lift ticket
to Mount
Spokane. Woo! Are you ready to play?
I am.
All right, let's hear your first quote.
The decision wasn't easy, as we love the beer, and we're still committed to the active beer space.
Said a spokesperson with Boston Beer Company in relation to an announcement that what active lifestyle marathon-related beer was being pulled from production.
26.3.
No. Close, but it's 26.1.
1.
No.
2.
2. Yes, he's right.
The price is right.
Yes, the recently launched 26.2 beer from Boston Beer Company, who we all more commonly know as Samuel Adams, has reached the finish line, but don't expect this to taint Boston Beer's performance level with the acquisition of Dogfish Head Craft Brewery and the popularity of Sequence, which is their sour ale, as well as the on-trend production of truly hard seltzer. It seems Boston Beer Company is still leading the pack. Here is your second quote.
The hospital personnel and police refused to believe him when he repeatedly denied any alcohol ingestion.
Said the case report about a man who was arrested for a DUI. It turns out he wasn't drinking, but was suffering from what rare gastrointestinal issue?
His stomach was brewing the beer in his stomach.
Yes, you are correct. You are correct.
Yeah, we'll give it.
Auto brewery syndrome, or ABS, is when a rare fungal infection causes your gut to produce alcohol on its own. After some antifungal therapy, a brief relapse where the man ate some pizza and soda while on treatment, oops, and some probiotic maintenance, the man has finally been relieved of ABS. Anybody?
Why would you relieve yourself of that?
I
don't have to drink. I don't have to pay for beer ever again.
Right. All right, here is your third quote, Colin.
That bad decision mainstay downed by the shot in every college town dive bar.
Said NPR's The Salt when describing what ubiquitous angular green bottled liqueur that is now finding its way into the craft beer scene.
Jägermeister?
It's Jägermeister. That is correct. How do you sway your image from simply being an anise liqueur dropped into a Red Bull to something, well, less anise? Become a beer, and not just any beer, Jägermeister Arrogant Bastard Ale, to be exact. Arrogant Consortiaria, a subsidiary of Stone Brewing, released the 8.5% ABV beer in late September, as they say bottoms up, or in this case, anise up? I don't know. What do you think? I just think of, like, you know how Jägermeister has the Jägerettes? You know, the hot women that come into the bar and then they, like, get you to drink Jägermeister? I'm just waiting for Stone Brewing's Arroganettes. I kind of feel like they're going to look like, Robert Palmer's, Addicted to Love Girls. You know what I mean? They're kind of like, Jaeger used to look good to me, but now I find it. Boom, 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 boom. Simply irresistible.
He's so fine.
There's no telling where the Jaeger went. All right, let's find out how Colin did with the quiz, Dave.
I think he got a 3 out of 3.
All right.
That makes him a winner.
Woo! Little bit of training wheels. Congratulations, Collins. You have won our prize, free beer, a pint glass, and free lift ticket to Mount Spokane. Thanks for playing.
The best skiing in the
Whose beer this
509.
time?
Thank you for having me.
Panelists, now a question about some recent beer news for you. Here is your quote. That's a lot of fickin' mugs, said my wife, Jane, when I told her how many beer steins people attempted to steal from the 2019 Munich Oktoberfest. How many beer steins did people try to steal?
How many
from
did they
this
have on
year's?
premise?
That's...
Do we have
I'll
any
give you
idea?
a quote. There were 6 million people at Oktoberfest. 7.3 million beers were drank.
Holy crap.
How many beer steins were attempted to be stolen?
Chris, would it be okay just to say all of them?
Not all of them, no. You would think. It's not held in America.
I'm going to say 100,000.
100,000. All right, anybody else?
2 million.
2 million.
80,000?
80,000, and you're not in this. So then...
I'm gonna,
sorry.
Chris?
No,
Chris?
it's a panel question.
Chris, I'm going to say $1, please.
Yeah. What is it?
420.
$1. It's actually 96,912 beer steins. So
I'd say I won.
Dave got the point.
I don't often win, so let's rejoice in this. I'm never right.
So that's about one beer stein stolen or attempted to be stolen for every 75 beers poured. You guys
That's really low. In college, I used to be like, oh, I love this.
What about you? Do you have glassware problems, stealing glass?
We don't have glassware problems.
No?
They disappear, but
You
people are drinking out of them, so.
You're good. You can take it.
Hey, that doesn't mean you can all take them home.
Yeah,
though.
now you're going to be like, why aren't you open? Because Dave opened his mouth about the beer stein. Well, that wraps up our first part of the show. We'll now take a break and be back in a few with a game we call Bluff the Drinker.
Welcome back to the Brewhouse Stage at Mountain Lakes Brewing Company in downtown Spokane, Washington. This is Wheat, Don't Tell Me, the MLB Beer Quiz Show with your host, Chris Cindric.
Thank you, everybody. We're playing tonight with our pumpkin-smashing panel of brewers, Charlene Honcik from Badass Backyard Brewing, Wes Cutlip from Whipsaw Brewing, and from Mountain Lakes Brewing, Tim Hilton and Dave Basaraba. Right now, it's time for the Wheat, Don't Tell Me game called Bluff the Drinker. Remember, if you would like to be a future contestant on Wheat, Don't Tell Me, just stop by Mountain Lakes Brewing prior to the show, and we will let you tap our keg. Hello, you are on Wheat, Don't Tell Me. Tell us your name and something about yourself.
Yeah, my name's Joel Haugen, and I am a amateur beer connoisseur. Travel around and drink a lot of beer, way too much. And then I'm also a local musician. So I'm actually going to be playing at River City the day before Thanksgiving on the 27th for their VB Stout release party.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, welcome, Joel. You are here to play our game where you must tell truth from fiction. Your topic, as always, on this show is beer. If November is the start of anything, it's ski and snowboard season. And nothing pairs better with a day on the slopes than a nice, cold, local craft beer. Our panelists are each going to tell you a beer story related to a beer event that may or may not have taken place on a ski hill. Pick the one who's telling the truth, and you'll win our prize, free beer, a pint glass, and a free lift ticket to Mount Spokane. Are you ready to play?
Let's do this.
Your first story comes from Wes Cutlip.
All right, let's get my storytelling voice on here. All right, so here's your first story. 1984 was a tough year for Killington Resort in Vermont. Winter came late that year and crushed any hope of revenue from early season pass sales. Already coming off a warmer than usual 1983 ski season, the resort found itself a bit strapped for cash by late December, when all but 8 inches of snow had fallen on the resort's terrain. Many people that relied on the resort as a source of employment and income gave up hope and left for wider pastures. The multiplying effect of the downturn in economic revenue hit the entire county where Killington Resort is located. 1984 was proving to be as bleak as the Orwell novel itself. However, Sigurd Bjornstad, the owner of the resort at the time, was an optimistic man. He was also a Norwegian. And if you know anything about Norwegians, they love skiing, they love snow, they love baking bread, and they love beer. So Sigurd devised a plan. Tapping into his slight knowledge of Norse mythology, Sigurd started to tell the town about the Norse god Rule was a skier, avid outdoorsman, beer drinker, and most importantly, the god of snow. Sigurd told the townsfolk, Rule must be